Happy Halloween, guys, and we are here today with another epic deck profile. We have here some ghostricks. Ghostricks, I have not played this deck in a while, and I'll be serious with you guys. Like, I decided to play ghostricks for this Halloween special and just put this deck together, and it's worked beautiful. I haven't made that many changes to the deck at all, if any. I believe the last deck that I played did run Karkar D, but I do not see any too much need for it. This deck is pretty much decent as it is already. So pretty much for you, those who don't know how to play Ghostrick, this is the stall deck. This is the amazing stall deck. So pretty much there are two win conditions in this build. There was a more aggressive build that runs Mummy and Stein and all the other guys, but we don't care about that. We are here for two win conditions. The first win condition is literally a win condition. Ghostrick's Angel of Mischief. If you get it with 10 or more materials, and you can add a Ghostrick card from your hand as material, you win the duel. Nothing that can happen. If this card has 10 material, like, it cannot be negated. Skill Drain they could flip Skill Drain. Well, no, that would be impossible because if they chained Skill Drain to her effect activating to attach, then it would be negated. But you can negate win conditions. That is a ruling. But the other win condition is this guy over here. He is amazing because he is pretty much like, if you get set up and then you do him twice and you hit 8 cards, like, you win. Pretty much. He will banish the top cards of your opponent's deck face down up to the number of Ghostrick monsters face up on the field. So he can hit a max of 5 cards. And then that's pretty much the other win condition, is just to deck your opponent out. Just flip him every turn and then be like, I hope you're enjoying milling 5 cards every turn. And then they'll be like, I need to draw a Jackie, and you just milled it. And so Ghostrick Skeleton is one of the win conditions. So let me just go in and explain every monster effect. So yes, Skeleton will mill the top 5 cards, not the top 5, up to the number of Ghostrick monsters you control from the top of your opponent's deck, and they'll be banished face down. So nothing your opponent can do unless they have Necroface, and he doesn't get milled. Besides that, all Ghostrick monsters can flip themselves face down if they are face up. So that is very important. Jonxi will, when she is flipped face up, note these are not flip effects. That is important when it comes to rulings. Jonxi, when flipped face up, will add a Ghostrick monster whose level is equal to the number of Ghostrick monsters you control. So if you have just one Jonxi and you flip a face up, you can search out any of your level 1s right here. If you have another Ghostrick monster, you can search out any 2 or level 1 monster. If you have a third Ghostrick monster, a second Ghostrick monster besides Jonxi, you'll be able to search out any Ghostrick monster. If you have any more than that, then it's really pointless. So note, if you have Skeleton and Jonxi, you want to flip up Skeleton before... No, you want to flip up Jonxi before Skeleton. I cannot speak today, guys. So that way you can mill as many as possible. And like most of the time, these are the level 3s, so if you only have one other one and you have to search a level 2 or low, like, you're going to search out most of the monsters in the deck anyways. Ghostrick Witch, she has great utility in the deck. She can just flip one of your opponent's monsters face down, which is very useful, especially with Ghostrick Knight. If there's just a lone monster that just won't go face down, Witch will be there to help you out. Catgirl is very important to this lock. This lock is amazing. Like, if a level 4 higher monster is normal or special summon, flip that monster face down, and that's it. It doesn't hurt XZ monsters, but your opponent can't XZ summon if they don't have any level face-up monsters on the field. So you never run into that problem. It hits everything. Nothing gets over this. And if you can you need to control another Ghostrick monster though. You need to control another Ghostrick. So if you have a Skeleton face-up or your Angel of Mischief, you have the lock. And so nothing gets through. Doll can be annoying when it comes to getting the lock, but it definitely helps out. It's a mandatory effect, which sucks. But if she is flipped face up during the end phase, flip all monsters on the field, face down, and then summon a Ghostrick monster's level is equal to or less than the monsters that were flipped face down. So Ghostrick Doll is very, very useful in that, just being able to be another Jonxi search, whatever. The only problem is, again, Catgirl needs to be face up to activate her effect. So if you want to get the lock off, and for Ghostrick Knight, if you want to keep a monster face down, they need to have a face-up Ghostrick, so they all go face down, which can be very, very annoying. But if you can just XZ summon with her, you can summon out a Witch with her, or search a Witch off of Jonxi, summon it, make our rank 2 here, and then just get rid of her like that. And that is pretty much what you do, but she is very useful just for getting us cards on the field we need. Jack Frost and Lantern will negate attacks. Jack Frost only negates direct attacks, but he will flip the monster face down, which is very useful because we want our opponent's monsters face down. But once you get set up, he kind of dead because your opponent cannot attack you directly if you control a face-up monster, so he becomes dead. But Lantern can negate direct attacks or attacks on Ghostrick monsters, but he does not flip the monsters face down, and they summon each other out. Both of them will summon each other out, by the way. And so he can be very useful. They attack your Cackle, they attack your Mischief, negate the attack, summon him face down, and then if you have a roll shift or something, you can flip him face up to pretty much stop another attack. Ghostrick Mary is very useful for if you take damage, you can ditch her to summon out a Ghostrick monster. So you summon out a Jonxie, Skeleton, or a Doll, and helps just set up your play, help you get the monsters you need right away. Upstart and Dualities and then Terraformings, that is just consistency, because the card you really want to open up with is Parade. Like the two cards you want to open up with is Parade and Vanish. And if you were to have any other card, it would either be it would be a Jonxie. You'd want to have a Jonxie or a Doll besides that, and that would be an amazing hand right there. But pretty much you're all just using this to get to your Parades, and it's not that hard. Like you open up with Parades most hands, because I mean you have Duality, which goes through your deck, and you're having 5 targets to hit out of 35 cards after you draw your first 5. Like that's a 1 in 7, and you're searching 3 of that 7, so you have a definite chance of hitting Parade very, very soon in the game. And then Vanish. Vanish is... Wait, no, I didn't even talk about Parade. What am I thinking, guys? What am I thinking? I'm all over the place. Monsters cannot attack face-down defense position monsters, but can attack directly if all monsters are face down. So again, if you have no face-up monsters, they can attack you directly. And if you have one face-up monster, they have to attack that. They have to attack that monster. Anyways, but you cannot inflict any damage to your opponent, which is why we have no aggression, because this card is absolutely amazing, and you want it on the field, and so why bother having these guys to attack if you can't inflict damage? When your opponent declares a direct attack, add 1 Ghostrick card from your deck to hand. You will take damage, which sucks, but if you can search out a Mary and then summon something out, or if you're smart, you can activate this effect and then chain with a Jack Frost or a Lantern or a... Actually, no, this would be Chain Link 1. These guys would be Chain Link 1, and he'd be Chain Link 2. So you can stop the attack and still get off the search. Or you could use Roll Shift to flip your monster face up and flip their monster face down. So you can stop the attack. You want your opponent to attack so you can search, and then you just use your Lanterns or your Ghost or your Jack Frosts to stop it. Do note that if you search for your Lanterns or your Jack Frost, you cannot change them at that point. They have to already be in hand in order to use them. But he will search out any Ghostrick cards, so you can get your Knights, get your Roll Shifts, get extra Vanishes, or any of your monsters that you need. Banish, like I said earlier, this card is absolutely broken. Because, like, if every deck had this card, it would be absolutely stupid. Reveal 1 Ghostrick monster in your hand. Not that hard. But there will be situations where we might not have one. Ghostrick cards you control and face-down defensive monsters you control cannot be targeted by or destroyed by card effects. That is crazy. That is crazy. None of your cards on your side of the field can be destroyed if you flip this face up that turn. Like, that is just insane. They can be destroyed by battle, your monsters can be destroyed by battle, but again, you can stop that and mess around. But if they go MST, if they go Regeki, because sometimes, like, this card just saves games. They'll be like, Regeki, you're 1 material away from winning the game, Vanish. And they'll be like, alright, GG. Because they just can't do anything at that point. They can't get out of it. Especially, like, those cards, they just blow up the field and get rid of stuff. They do nothing once you flip this. Just don't have 2 ever set on the field. Do not have 2 Ghostrick Vanishes on the field, because if they go like Black Rose and you have 2, you lost 1. Like, you can protect all your other cards, but your other Ghostrick, any face down spell track cards will be destroyed. So don't even bother setting 2. And unless you're really afraid of that one scenario where they go end phase MST on your Knight after they got rid of the other Ghostrick Vanish that you had. Like, that can happen, but it doesn't happen ever. This card doesn't really need to be here, but it's better than having a 3rd Knight. Flip any number of face-down Ghostrick monsters, and then you can change that many of face-up monsters to face-down that are on your opponent's side of the field. So, great way to end a battle phase, pretty much. If you have a whole bunch of face-down monsters, really don't want to be attacked, just flip them all face-down. Or you can just use this to add material to Mischief. Ghostrick Go Around. Pretty much you can change 1 monster to face up and then flip their monster to face down, which is what you normally use. Or flip one of your face up Ghostricks to face down, to flip one of their face down to face up. pretty much how it works. You use it to stop attacks. You never flip their monsters face up. You don't want to. You want them to be face down. You just flip up a Jonxie or a Skeleton, and boom, will work. Do note that Skeleton will get his effect to flip face up with this, but Jonxie, she will get her effect also, but if you have Parade, she will not. Skeleton will get his effect no matter what because it's mandatory. Doll will get her effect no matter what, but if you have Chain Link 1, Chain Link 2, this will miss timing. And then the most important card, this card will clog at 3, so I wouldn't recommend running it, but at 2 it is definitely useful. While ghostrick monsters face up on the field, your opponent cannot flip summon monsters. If this card in your possession is destroyed, your opponent cannot declare an attack this turn. Kinda actually is bad for this deck. You want them to declare attacks, but pretty much your opponents are face down, and they cannot be flipped face up. If they summon a level 4 or higher while you control another ghostrick monster, they go face down. So now your opponent can't summon a monster. They can't summon unless it's level 3. And if they do, you should have a roll shift by now, or a lantern in hand to stop them from attacking. And that's pretty much the lock. You get out another ghostrick monster so that way Kagero can use her effect, and then you get Knight to be face up. They cannot flip up any of their monsters, and you just then start using Skeleton and adding material to Mischief and be like, ha, you just lost this game. And that is it for the main deck. Like, I mean, this is a really fun deck. I call it the stall deck because you pretty much are stalling, but it doesn't, like, you can win pretty easily. Like, it doesn't take that many turns. It's just not aggressive, really fast, just like OTK. Like, it won't OTK. It won't kill a person by turn 5. It'll probably take, by turn 10, your opponent should be dead. Yeah, definitely by turn 10 or a little bit later. But that's like an average. That's how most games last. So time for the extra deck. Ghostrick.extra deck plus F-Zero. F-Zero is here because if you get into this weird situation, which will happen every now and then, where you have all 3 Mischiefs, you use 2 to search from your deck, because let me tell you Mischief's effect. You can detach an XYZ material to search out a Ghostrick spell or trap card from your deck. So great to search out your vanishes. And then the other effect is attach a Ghostrick card, any card monster, or a spell or trap to it as material. So you get 2, and then you search out your Ghostrick spell or trap cards, and then you would use the third one to add material to, and you can XZ some of these on top of Ghostrick's XYZs, so they should have around 3 material to start off with, so you're adding 4 to the third one. But if eventually the other 2 that you're using to search will run out of materials, F-Zero will just, you don't attack with them or do anything with them, you just summon them out, so that way you get rid of and have more room. That's pretty much it. There's no other reason than just more room. But now for the other effects of the Ghostrick monsters, if you're curious, Alucard will pop a Sec card. He's pretty standard in a lot of decks. Succumbus, she's actually pretty good. I like her effect. You can target 1 monster on the field whose face-up attack is equal to or less than the combined attack of all Ghostrick monsters on the field and destroy it, and that monster card zone cannot be used as long as you control another Ghostrick monster. So that is pretty powerful because she's 1400, so anything with 1400 or less attack she can destroy by herself. But if you have more Ghostrick monsters, you can destroy other monsters. If you have a Skeleton, she can destroy anything with 26 or less. If you have a Jonxie on top of that, 3000 or less. So it adds up real quick. And then that monster card zone cannot be used, so if you get to use multiple of her effects, like you could get rid of 6 zones because 2 times 3. And so that could completely stop your opponent. That could be one way to win, pretty much. And even if she leaves the field, your opponent cannot use that as long as you control another Ghostrick, so that's very powerful. Or you could just use it to XZ summon onto a Ghostrick Angel Mischief. Dolhan, he's actually really good. If you cannot make Mischief for whatever reason, and you need to protect your cat girl, he is amazing because he will have a monster's attack. So if you can protect her by any other way, Dolhan would be really useful. Just have that monster's attack. Hopefully it isn't enough. I mean, she is very, very weak. She only has 4 attack, 900 defense. But being able to have something could be very, very useful. And he gains 200 attack for each Ghostrick monster you control. And that is pretty much it for the Ghostricks. This is a very fun deck. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. Happy Halloween, guys. Don't forget to leave a like, comment.